to be his best man? Are you out of your mind? Hey, welcome back to my channel and Happy New Year. What do we have today? I want to start keeping track on new releases. We're gonna be doing January 2024 releases. I actually already have a post made. I'm gonna also be doing this on my Instagram, so I'll have it there, but I'm gonna do a full-length video as well for YouTube. Is what it looks like. We have 6 dates. The first date that we're gonna start with is January 2nd, Ghost Roast. This is a YA graphic novel by Shawnee Gibbs. This is a paranormal adventure. I just saw this when I was looking it up, and I've actually only read one graphic novel. I don't know, so like when I was younger, I'm sure I read some. I don't know if like Diary of a Wimpy Kid counts. And you know, they had a girl version, they had Dork Diaries. I don't know what that is. Is that a graphic novel? I don't know. But as far as like being an adult, like I've only read one, and it was Who the F Are You? And I read that like 2 months ago or something, and I thought it was good. You know, it's a graphic novel. I thought it was interesting. So I want to read some more out of my comfort zone. It says that her dad is a professional ghost hunter. Number 2 is Stay With My Heart. I've actually already read it. It's in my reading NetGalley Arcs video, part 2. I gave this a 4-star. This is a YA contemporary. This is the same author that wrote Counting Down With You, which I say is always my fave by her, and it's actually one of my favorite YA romances. It's interracial, whatever. We have a girl who accidentally sabotages this up-and-coming like local band, so she is trying to do everything in her power to unsabotage them without them knowing. So like giving them a free space to practice and, you know, entering them into this contest, this band contest or whatever. And she's hoping that if she succeeds with hyping, but with uplifting this band, she thinks that she will become closer with her dad, who does this for a living. That was the only disappointing part, but I'm not even gonna go into it. January 9th, we have Red String Theory. I'm pretty sure this is the same author that wrote Lunar Love, and it's actually over there. It's one of my library books. I don't know if I'm gonna read it though. I was hoping to read it in 2023, but I never got to it because I started reading more of my Kindle. This charming faded love rom-com about 2 star-crossed lovers will appeal to readers of Helen Huang, Jasmine Guillory, and Sarah Adams. Just a date or a twist of fate. When it comes to love and art, Rooney Gao believes in signs. Most of all, she believes in the Chinese legend that everyone is tied to their one true love by the red string of fate, and that belief has inspired her career as an artist, as well as the large art installation she makes with obviously red string. This is until artist block strikes and Rooney begins to question everything, but then fate leads her to the perfect guy. Jack Liu is perfect. He's absurdly smart, successful, handsome, and after one enchanting New York night under icy February skies and fueled by fried dumplings, all signs point to destiny. Only Jack doesn't believe, and after their magical date, it looks like they might be lost to each other forever until they're given one more chance to reconnect. But can Rooney convince a reluctant skeptic to take a leap of faith? Woo! I read the whole thing. I may have to speed that up. This sounds interesting. It kind of sounds like the first book, and if I didn't know any better, I would think it's the second book in a series that just interconnected, but it's not. It doesn't say anything. I'm actually not a huge fan of star-crossed lovers, faded love at all. That's one of my least favorite tropes. I don't like reading it, but I'll give this one a shot. The next book is my only indie book on here. This comes out on January 18th. I typically don't put, and I'm saying this like I've done this before, but I don't normally keep track a ton of indie romances because with an indie author, they're on a totally different timeline than a trad author. Like they say that this is coming out on the 18th, but then wait, no, because I reached my goal, I'm gonna actually publish it today. You know what I mean? I feel like they always do that sometimes. Or sometimes you don't even know when they're coming out with a book. City of Salvation by Marie Maravilla. This is the third book in the Toxic Paradise series. This one I think is just an MF romance. Our main character, Nikki, stood up an evil Russian brothel leader at the altar after helping stage his assassination, and now she's a target. There's an MC member, Motorcycle Club. I'm not a huge fan of that either. But there's an MC member that is trying to protect her and something. So, of course, they're going to fall for each other. We love that. And that's coming out on the 18th. I don't know if I said that. And then the 16th, we have 4 books coming out. The first is Valley Verified. I have actually not read a book by this author yet. I was going to. I'm pretty sure this is the same author that wrote The Fraud Squad. I got it from the library, like the beginning of 2023, and I don't know, I was just so overwhelmed with like the size of the book, and it's not even that long, but the font was very small, and I was like, ugh, I don't know if I can do it. It's about a woman changing careers. Y'all could have just said that. This looks a little more highly rated than the first, than the Fraud Squad, but it's only 50 ratings, obviously, because it isn't out yet, so I'm guessing that these are people who oh my gosh! I just realized I went from January 18th to January 16th. But it's because if you look at it, I had 4 books for the 16th and it wouldn't fit where I put 18th. But anyways, Say You'll Be Mine. I think this is a South Asian romance. Debut romance. A teacher with big dreams joins forces with a no-nonsense engineer to survive an ex's wedding and escape matchmaking pressure from their Indian families. Their plan, faking an engagement. Yes, I love fake anything. Fake engagement, fake marriage, fake dating if they're not like engaged or whatever. I love it. I eat it up. Her parents want her to be an engineer. Instead, she's followed her passion and she becomes a theater teacher and an aspiring playwright. But her beloved writing partner, her best friend, her secret crush, Seth, is suddenly engaged and not to her. Girl, y'all weren't dating. That'd be me. That'd be me in my Delulu mind. I'm not gonna get into it. He asks her to be his best man? Are you out of your mind? Okay, so determined to try and move on and relieve a bit of the pressure she feels, she agrees to let her parents introduce her to a potential match. Maybe she'll even find the engineer her family wishes she became. But he's grumpy. Yes, so he's a grumpy, handsome engineer. He only agreed to his mother's matchmaking attempts to make her happy. They get into this fake engagement. And because she's the best man, she has to help plan that man's wedding. I'm so here for this. Next is The Night of the Storm, which is a thriller. A fresh take on the classic locked room thriller about a multi-generational Indian American family marooned in a house with a murderer during Hurricane Harvey. Girl, not Hurricane Harvey. It's not a laughing matter. The hurricane is about to hit Houston. Meanwhile, single mom Jia Shah is already having a rough week. Her 12-year-old son, Ishan, has just been suspended from school for getting in a fight. Still reeling from the fallout of her divorce, they are moved to Houston, her family's disapproval, the struggle to make ends meet on her own. Now she's worried about her son's future. Will her solo parenting be enough? Doesn't a boy need a father? And now their apartment complex is under a mandatory evacuation order. Her sister Seema has invited them to hunker down in her fancy house in Sugarland. Okay, oh, it's getting a little interesting. So, Seema's husband, so her sister's husband, her brother-in-law, Vipul, has been just a little too friendly with her lately. She concedes it's probably the best to keep Ishan safe during the hurricane. With Jia's philandering ex scrutinizing her every move, all too eager to snatch back custody of Ishan, she can't afford to make a mistake. When Vipul's brother and his wife show up, Lord! The brother-in-law's brother and his wife show up. Grandma, the family matriarch, has never been shy about playing favorites among her sons and their wives. As the storm escalates, was it a horrible accident Or is there a murderer in their midst? With no help available until the flood waters recede in the morning, Gia must protect her son and identify the culprit before she goes down for a crime she didn't commit or becomes the next victim. There's a lot going on that needs to be unpacked. Number one, who died? Who was... Because it sounds like a lot going on in here. I'm excited to read it. I love a good thriller. The last book that's being published on the 16th. This might be the book. If you guys remember, if it's still fresh, I don't know. But they had the drama with this author who was giving mainly BIPOC authors 1 stars, leaving them negative reviews on books that haven't even been out yet. I'm not going to get into that. They have plenty of videos about that. I'm just mentioning it because I think this is one of the books that was hit. This is by Camila Cole. This might be her debut. So Let Them Burn. A Jamaican-inspired fantasy that follows a God-blessed heroine who's forced to choose between saving her sister or protecting her homeland. Again, if you know me, if you've watched some of my other videos, I'm not a fan of YA fantasy, but if it's by a BIPOC author, I will more than likely always read it because I feel like they always have something interesting going on and they always have a lot to work with, you know what I mean, and they keep it interesting. Farron Vincent can channel the power of the gods. 5 years ago, she used her divine magic to liberate her land from its enemies, the dragon-riding Langley Empire. But now at 17, Farron is all-powered with no wars to fight. She's a legend to her people and a nuisance to her neighbors. When she's forced to attend an international peace summit, Farron expects that she will perform tricks like a trained pet and then go home. She doesn't expect her older sister, Alara, forming an unprecedented bond with an enemy dragon, or the gods claiming the only way to break the bond is to kill her sister. What? As Farron's desperation to find another solution takes her down a dark path, and Alara discovers the shocking secrets at the heart of the Langley Empire, both must make difficult choices that will shape each other's lives, as well as the fate of their world. That sounds fantastic. On January 23rd is The Fake Dating Game. This is an MM romance. Holden James picked the worst time to have a meltdown. His chance to audition for his favorite game show, Madcap Market, should have been a moment of triumph, a glorious, loving homage to his adored mom, who died 6 years ago. Instead, he's destroying the minibar in a grim Los Angeles hotel room, recently dumped, partnerless, and sliding into a crushing black hole of anguish. But the hotel service in abject misery is sublime. Okay. It even comes with an unfairly fit and sexy concierge who arrives at the door with pizza, Monopoly, and deliciously distracting forearms. All Holden knows about Leo Min is that he's beautiful and unexpectedly sympathetic, and the chemistry between them is beyond. Maybe it's even enough to convince everyone, including the show's casting directors, that they're a real couple. All they have to do is crush the competition, win the huge cash prize, and all of Holden's problems, his broken heart, his buried grief, his complete lack of money and direction will be fixed. Of course, reality doesn't quite work out that way, but love is an entirely different game. Okay, so I get it now. So he must have been auditioning for this game show. It must be a relationship game show. A dating game show, that's what I just read, with his ex, well now ex, but at the time they were dating and he must have dumped him. So now he can't audition. But while he's at this hotel, the concierge comes up and they must be faking a relationship so that he can be on this dating show. You need to be on that dating show that bad? My gosh. I feel that. I feel it. Lastly, on January 30th, The Mayor of Maxwell Street by Avery Cunningham. This is also a debut novel. This is an epic love story, a triumph and a tale of intrigue, racial tension, and class warfare set against the glamorous and gritty backdrop of early 20th century Chicago. I'm pretty sure this is a historical thriller or crime fiction. I don't know. I saw it somewhere. When a rich black debutante enlists the help of a low-level speakeasy manager to identify the head of an underground crime syndicate, The two are thrust into a dangerous world of Prohibition-era Chicago. We have a girl who's 20, and she recruits another person, and they are going to expose the mayor and bring about a lasting change in a corrupted city. Trapped between the monolith of Jim Crow and inflexible world of the black upper class and the violence of Prohibition-era Chicago, Jay and Nellie work together and stoke the flames of a love worth fighting for. And yet, as with all things in America, there is a price to be paid. What risk is... What am I doing? What risk is Nellie willing to take for a young man willing to risk it all? Yeah, so this is a stunning novel, an epic love story, a riveting historical drama, and a brilliant exploration of Black society and perseverance when the 20s first began to... What is wrong with me today? Something's in the air. Okay. This was the last book. I'm excited to read this. I haven't really read a historical... I'm lying. Have I read historical crime fiction? I don't know. Yeah, but I think this is crime fiction, not a thriller. This is going to be the year for me to actively read more books out of my comfort zone. This is definitely going to fit in there. That's why I'm mentioning it. With everything that's been going on with Palestine and the different readathons that we've had in support have definitely broadened my horizons with what I read. And of course, like reading the different readathons that we've had for like Sudan, the Congo, and it's definitely broadened my horizons with things that I've been reading. So I've been reading historical now, so I'm hoping that I can continue that into 2024. And those were all of the books. Well, it's not all the books coming out in January, but these are the books that caught my attention. The top 3 that I'm most excited about: Say You'll Be Mine, because yes, I cannot wait to read that. Fake Engagement, Say No More, but it looks like it's gonna be a little dramatic. One of the things I'm interested to know is whether or not there's a reason she should be shocked. Like, did they ever date themselves? I don't know. The other one is City of Salvation, because I'm a huge fan of Marie's work, and The Mayor of Maxwell Street, because again, crime fiction, historical, not really something that I've read before, and I'm excited to read it. But that's it for today's video. I'll see you either January 30th or February 1st with February 2024 releases. So stay tuned.